This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning again, everybody. This is the Commissioner meeting for Lake Stevens Sewer District. It is a regularly scheduled meeting. It is March 11th, 2021. It is 9 a.m. in the morning. As we get started in the meeting here, I'm just going to read our general little proclamation. Well, I shouldn't say proclamation, just our little preamble that we have. So with that being said, as we get started here, I just want to speak a few things real quick and let everybody know where we're at. So Commissioner, staff, and citizens, since this is a remote meeting, some initial comments are appropriate. As required by the governor's series of proclamations beginning in March 24, 2020, the Lake Stevens Sewer District is holding its commissioner meetings remotely using the GoToMeeting platform. While this is not our norm, we are glad to be able to ensure continuity of business operations. Members of the public who are participating, we are very grateful for your support and patience while we work through this interim way of doing business. Members of the public, you've been invited to join us through the virtual format of GoToMeeting. The public comment section of our agenda will be handled in the following way. First, comments or questions that were received or emailed to the district's customer service representatives or otherwise received sufficiently in advance of the meeting will be read during the public forum. Secondly, during the meeting, anyone wishing to comment during the public forum may use the chat box feature and you'll be provided with the opportunity to comment. Board members, as we are starting this meeting, I'm just going to take attendance real quick by calling your name. If you could, please indicate whether you can hear me clearly and so others on the line can hear us. We need to do this one at a time. So the note taker can write down some of the notes, even though this is a recorded meeting. So with that being said, I will call on Commissioner Stevenson. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Excellent, thank you. How about you, Commissioner Koshi? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So with that being said, let's move on into the Pledge of Allegiance. So please join me at this time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So as we move into our agenda, the third item on that is the approval of the agenda. I don't know if there were any last minute additions, subtractions, comments needed. I'm not seeing staff indicate that there would be any. So with that being said, if a commissioner would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted, we could start off.
I'd make a motion that we approve the agenda as submitted.
A second.
It has been moved and seconded to proceed with the submitted agenda. I'll call for that vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it has carried. So we're going to move on down to the consent agenda items. There was A through I on the consent agenda items. Those items have been reviewed previously by the board members. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda item.
I'd make a motion we approve consent items A through I.
I second.
Has been moved and seconded. Any discussion, any questions, comments, concerns by anyone? Not seeing any of that pop up on my screen or anybody speaking to that fact. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. As we move on down to the public forum aspect of this, I will check with both the general manager and one of our administrative assistants to see if we have received any, notification from anybody in regards to any comments, concerns that they would like to speak of prior to this meeting.
I have not received anything.
Okay. And the general manager is indicating the same by nodding their head. So at this time, this is an opportunity that anybody in the audience, if they would like to speak on anything in front of the Board of Commissioners or make a comment, please let us know. Not seeing anybody raise their hand, and I don't see the chat bar feature lighting up, so there must not be anybody in the chat room saying they'd like to speak. So with that being said, we will then move on to item 6 of the agenda today, which is the old business. The first item up on that topic is going to be a public hearing on surplus of real property, 400 to 500 block of Sunnyside Boulevard Southeast. And I will turn this over to staff.
So this is the public hearing portion of the surplus of what was the old wastewater treatment plant located about 400 and 500 Sunnyside Boulevard. And pursuant to 3933.020 of the RCW, we need to have a public hearing to consider the public's input on that.
Excellent. So this is, I'm opening it up to a public hearing on that. If anybody in the audience like to speak on behalf of the Board of Commissioners before they make a motion and move in the surplus of the real property, which is the 400 and 500 of Sunnyside Boulevard Southeast. So is there anybody in the audience that has joined us today that would like to speak in regards to the surplus of real property? I know it's riveting and everybody would like to speak about it. Not hearing or seeing anybody step forward, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing aspect of the, for the board for anybody to comment on that at this time. So anything else that you would like us to do on behalf of that, I'll look to legal, I'll look to the general manager in regards to that.
Nothing from my half.
And not hearing anything from legal, we will move on then to item B under old business, which is a resolution number 998, declaring real property surplus and authorizing the general manager to execute a quit claim deed to transfer that ownership of the property. I'll open it up to the general manager to give us some insight on that.
So nothing really to add from what you just stated, but it is a resolution to formalize the fact that the property is being declared surplus, and then authorizes myself to sign that quitclaim deed in order to transfer the property.
Excellent, thank you. So I'll now look to my fellow commissioners to see if they have any questions, comments, concerns, want to speak on any behalf of that before we move forward with an approval of resolution number 998. I know it's riveting. Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 998, authorizing the general manager to sign formalizing the transfer of said property.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 998.
I second.
So it has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 998, declaring real property surplus and authorizing the general manager to execute a quitclaim deed to transfer said ownership. Any further discussion on that? Not hearing any, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
It has passed. So resolution number 998 is there. Thank you, everybody, for the patience on that, and happy signing there, General Manager. So let's move on down to 7, which is new business, and there does not appear to be any new business, but this would be something if there was any last-minute additions that somebody might have thought of.
No additions.
Okay, let's move on down to the manager's reports. We will start with the General Manager, please.
All right, our comments to the Department of Ecology for their general permit will be submitted tomorrow. We did work a little bit with Gray and Osborne in order to reevaluate the numbers that were being used by Ecology to set our permit limits. And so those will be incorporated as soon as I receive them back from Gray and Osborne. On next Friday, so March 19th, I'll be giving a presentation to the Lake Stevens Rotary Club on the Lake Stevens Sewer District. And then we also, this past month, had one business in our area that applied for the grant, for our FOG program grant, and did receive that. So they have a new grease interceptor that's been installed based on our fog program. And then I can go straight into the Assistant General Manager's report, who's not with us today for the meeting, but there's 174 permits purchased so far this year and 205.59 connection fees. And that is it.
Thank you. I sometimes I wonder, how do we calculate the 0.59 of the connection fee? But I'm sure there's a basis for it.
There is a reason. And Lee is nodding her head if you really want a full answer.
As I generally say, be careful. If I don't want, if I don't want the answer, don't ask the question. But no, I know there is. So thank you very much. So let's move on down to the treatment plan update. I see Jim there. So please, Jim, it is your floor.
Good morning. So we're really quiet again. Going along, the one change we are looking at is we use sodium hydroxide to control our pH. It's fairly expensive, and Jeff Bosch, Doug Welch, Jonathan have all been working. Kurt Meyer also, I want to add, very hard to look at other products. And we are looking at magnesium hydroxide. And so I think that that's going to be a better project, but we're going to run a trial for 2 or 3 months, and the savings can be somewhat substantial, maybe $20,000 a year, and it might be a higher performer and aid a little bit in our dewatering process. Since we pay to take the dewatered sludge over the mountains, any kind of drier sludge, and it's less pay, so it can have an added benefit there too. So we're pretty excited about it. Doug Welch has been a big help on that from G&O. So it will probably go online next week or the week after on the trial. Other than that, we're just living the dream down here at the treatment plant.
Excellent. No, that is so awesome to hear. I mean, I love the fact that we have, employees within the organization, along with our engineering firm, that are always looking at ways, cost-saving ways. It's just incredible. I think that we're very fortunate to have employees throughout the organization that look at the bottom line and still provide the best service possible. So thank you very much, and please thank them from us in regards to all the work they're doing. So much appreciated. Let's move on down to city report. I see the city administrator, Gene, here. So please, Gene, the floor is yours.
Great. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Quick update for you. The police station is all pretty well finished up, and they're moved into the new evidence room. So they vacated the old evidence room, which some of you might recall was the prior fire station years ago. I'm actually doing a little tour for the museum staff to go walk through that today at noon. We're going to clean up that building, do a little paint job on the outside, and they will be housing that on a temporary basis until the new museum can be built. So it'd be nice to get that building cleaned up. It's looks a little run down, so that'll be a nice little project on the corner to get that cleaned up. And the old police station is being jacked up inch by inch. We have a contractor over there, and they'll fix the settling issue that's happened over the years. It was about 7 inches out of plumb, so they'll fix that and build new foundation walls underneath that, set it back down. All new walkways and shrubs and such will go in, and then the library will be moving into there. So we've been partnering with them on that project. So pretty exciting stuff happening downtown, and just loving this beautiful weather we're having.
Excellent, thank you. No, it's great to see. A lot of people don't realize that old fire station is there. So, I mean, it's kind of neat to see that the museum is moving in there. So, kind of a neat thing for them. And it'll probably give them a little more room as far as open space for the time being, because I know it's kind of limited inside the museum when you walk in there. They use probably most of that space for storage of other historical objects they have. So great to see a lot of those things are coming to fruition. So thank you. Let's move over to the commissioner's reports. Let's start with Commissioner Koshi. He can start if he has anything he wants to add to today's meeting.
Just appreciate the work, appreciate the partnership with all involved, but nothing specific today. Enjoy the weather.
Yes, definitely enjoy the weather. How about you, Commissioner Stevenson?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the staff, like you said earlier, for the cost savings. Always looking for ways to do that for us. I appreciate all their hard work.
Excellent. I would just add again to that. I mean, if we added up the totals of savings we have done, real savings we have seen in this organization in the last few years, it is actually significant. So thank you again to staff for all the hard work. It is very, very appreciated. I know as we start to get into the spring weather, it is nice to get out and actually get a little bit of sun versus the cloud and rain we always get. So please enjoy the day. Be safe out there. Moving on down, we are going to have an executive session this fine morning. I know that's going to be something that the commissioners probably don't want to hear, but there is a short commissioners executive session. I'm going to say it's going to last probably 15 minutes. Well, we'll put it at probably 20 minutes or around there, ending at approximately 9:35. It is to discuss potential litigation. No action to follow when we were done. So the meeting, once we get out of the executive session, we'll go into regular session and conclude the business with no action in regards to executive session status. So I think I may have covered it. Appreciate everybody attending. Thank you, Jean. I'll let our legal maybe fill in the gaps that I may have missed, because, well, if you leave it to an elected, those things do happen. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Cattle, and then we will go right into executive session.
The only addition I'd make to that, Mr. President, is it's actually to discuss pending litigation as opposed to potential litigation, and you touched all of the other appropriate bases and the time limit that you indicated we would be back in regular session was specific, so I think everything is fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, it's always nice to have legal here to make sure we dot the I's and cross the T's. So with that, as folks start moving out of the regular session, and Tara, who has controls over everybody who would be in the meeting, she'll let us know when everything has been securely locked. I can see Jim walking, which is going to probably give me I'm going to need Dramamine with his movement, carrying his phone like that. But, you know, those things happen.
I'll help him. Can we find out who's caller 4?
I don't know, Tara. I joined
it's you, Brad.
and then I rejoined, so it could be me.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
It is you. Thank you. Okay, I think we're good, guys. It's locked. 1, 2. We're good. Okay.
Please
All
stop
right.
the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
So the Board of Commissioners are back from the executive session, and we are going to extend the executive session until 9:45. It is 9:35 at this time, so we're going to go back into executive session. Again, there will be no decision to follow once the executive session concludes.
We're
waiting for the.
This conference will now be recorded.
So the Board of Commissioners from Lake Stephen Sewer are back in regular session at this time, and as stated previously, there is no action or decision to follow our executive session. So with that being said, I would look to the board to make a motion to adjourn our meeting this morning.
Make a motion, we adjourn our meeting this morning.
So it has been moved and seconded. There we go. I thought I heard something, and I'll call for the vote.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for the hard work. If any other meetings are needed, please let Mariah know. We will come in. We will schedule those accordingly. And just as a reminder to the board members, remember to stop by the sewer district and sign any of the vouchers and stuff that they want, so we can at least be somewhat efficient in our meetings. So thank you again, everybody. Great
Thank
job.
you, guys.
We'll talk to everybody later.
This conference will now be recorded.